Well, welcome everyone as we celebrate this fourth Sunday in Lent. And for us, we call this also Laetare Sunday. Kind of notice a little bit of difference that maybe some of our priests wear a rose-colored vestment. And now we're over the halfway mark of Lent. And so we get the name for this Sunday from our entrance antiphon. And you maybe have noticed it in your Word Among Us or in your Magnificat or whatever you use for the Mass readings. They had this entrance antiphon. It comes from Isaiah 66. And what does it say today? It says, "Rejoice, Jerusalem, and all who love her. Be joyful, all who are in mourning." It's very interesting that this weekend happens after so much that we have experienced in the past couple of weeks. It's how, for many of us, maybe Lent has become all the more real. How truly this is a Lent like we've never experienced, maybe personally, in a long time. Maybe spiritually we've really entered into it, but how this is impacting now everything in our lives. And maybe we need this weekend more than ever that we thought to remind us that just as normal to the Lenten journey, once you reach that halfway mark and you've been working on those practices and saying, all right, where's that moment of hope? Where's that moment to kind of just give me the courage to continuing on? Well, now we're presented with that. Because we know there's so much going on. There's not a lot of causes to rejoice at the moment. Maybe from the stuff we've been watching in the news. Maybe there's struggles now, everyone being at home. Kids maybe rejoicing they don't have to go to school, but maybe there's struggles in trying to keep up with the work that has been given to them, or getting bored. Maybe for those who are watching it, there's a lot of uncertainty in what it means. Maybe you've lost a job. Maybe there's financial worries or woes that are coming up. Maybe just the stress of everything going on, or knowing someone been affected by this virus. So not a lot of cause to rejoice, because what it overall has done is moved out of maybe what we were comfortable with. Maybe this thing that we were so set on, and now it can't happen. Well, bring that into our readings this weekend, especially both with David and the man born blind. David, here, and we hear of the very first reading, was the youngest of all his brothers. He knew he would not receive the inheritance, and so probably was never even thought of highly. So even his family, with this great banquet, says, "Why don't you go tend the sheep? You're not that important. That's a dirty job. You take care of it." And suddenly, things get changed. And now he's the anointed of God, and everything changes for him. And he's probably trying to understand, what does this mean? And probably begins to grasp of, all right, what's the reality of it? Look at the man born blind. Here, he's probably settled into what he thinks is, well, this is my state in life. I can't work, I can't do things, and the only thing that I can do is beg. But at least I know what to do, I get what I need, and continue on. And suddenly, without asking, the Lord comes to him and cures him and opens his eyes because of his mercy and love for this man. And with that, everything changes. His eyes become opened. But he still had the choice. You know what? I've been able to do all this for so long. Why change? And then with the trial that the Pharisees basically put him through, questioning him and saying what happened, and almost seeing like, tell us this guy did wrong so we can do what we want. And he easily could have just gave in. But he saw how things had changed. Even though it brought a lot of uncertainty now, what does this all mean? He knew whom he encountered. He can truly rejoice now. My eyes have been opened to something greater and where I'm going. And maybe that's what we need to kind of consider in going through everything that's happening in our world at the moment. Now, I'm not saying God is causing it, but God's grace is working at the moment to give us a moment to truly see what's important. It was interesting reading online. Someone on Facebook says how this is the first time on a Saturday they didn't have to set an alarm so they can get up early enough to go bring their kids to this sporting event or to this party. And maybe for a lot of us, this is the first time we got a chance to spend at home continuously. Now, I know that brings challenges, but we would have to see, for many of us, it's simplifying our lives. We can't go different places. And we begin to truly understand the role, the importance of what is here and now, those who are around us, those who God has put into our lives. And maybe we're rekindling friendships, talking to people we haven't seen or visited with in a long time just to see how they're doing, what's going on. I know that I'm trying to do that in my own life with many brother priests and friends of mine just to see how are you doing. And they're also asking me the same as I will process this, because it is causing a lot of upheaval in my life and causing me to go beyond what I'm normally open to or even thought of. But ultimately, I think I take comfort in the words we hear in our psalm today, a psalm that I think many of us are very familiar with. Psalm 23. It says, "The Lord is my shepherd, there is nothing I shall want." And that second stanza, I think, speaks to a lot of us here and now. "Even though I walk in the dark valley, I fear no evil, for you are at my side with your rod and your staff that give me courage." And many of us are probably in a dark valley at the moment. But we take comfort, we take solace, that through all of this, just like the Israelites, even though they didn't always recognize it, that the Lord is there with us. And now he is presenting us a moment, even amongst how this upheaval, saying, "Here I am," trying to open your eyes, your heart, and your mind to something greater. And so as we come here, now we need to refocus ourselves, I hope, seeing this is still the season of Lent, a chance to truly focus on those practices I started, and maybe I have opportunity to go a little bit deeper, or maybe I need to change them completely now that I have a little more time, so that as I prepare for Easter, which for all of us will be totally different this year, I am still united to my Lord and want to rejoice with him, but I know I still have a little more work to do. And so I encourage you, if you're still watching, to, after the end of this video, have a little discussion amongst you and whoever you might be with, or maybe call someone if you're alone, and reflect on this. We'd love to ask each of you to test to someone else. What are you rejoicing now at this moment about? What has happened this past week that even though there's a lot of things going on, and not sometimes negative, where was a joy this past week? Also, what I look forward now to as I go from here, prepare my heart and mind for Easter, that I know what still happens. And so this is a moment for us to step back, to reflect, and truly rejoice with the Lord, that knowing that regardless of what's going on out in the world or in towards the future, that he's here now. He's giving us his words of encouragement as we go forth from here. May we take that to heart. May we use that in our daily reflections, and know of my prayers for each one of you. May God bless your daily journey with him.